Mrs. Boyd. Here. Mrs. Zero.
Here.
Mr. Guane. Mrs. Gonzalez.
I'm here.
Mr. Harriman.
Here.
Mrs. LaRock. Mr. Mulaney. Mr. Marin.
Here.
Mr. McCabe.
Here.
Mr. Murdoch.
Here.
Mrs. Saunders. Here. Mr. Spilling. Mr. St. Pierre.
Here.
Mr. Thurber. We have 10 board members present.
Okay. Everyone in the audience introduce themselves.
Alex St. Pierre, CVES Boston.
Eric Bell, CVS.
Megan Zedek, Sept Law Firm.
Calvary Crane, CVES.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think we're ready to go into executive session. Someone wants to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All those in favor?
And President St. Pierre, if I could share the rationale for going into
Yes.
executive session this evening. Number one, matter of medical, financial credit, or employment history of particular persons or corporations. Matter of potential litigation, proposed, pending, or current. And number 8, the matter of the proposed sale, acquisition, or release of real property related to a variety of items, including potential session.
All right.
Thank you.
Introduction of all present. We did this once already, but there's new faces, so we got to start over. Eric Bell, CVS.
Alex St. Pierre, CVES.
Karen Calvary Gray, CVES.
Slattery, CVES.
Michelle Friedman, CVES.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. All right, opinions and concerns from the audience. No opinions? Anybody? No? Okay. We'll move on. The opening update, Dr. Davies, you want to cover
Sure.
up?
Yeah, so we are going to give a brief, so our instead of our normal opinions and concerns, it's going to be part of our opening update.
Oh, there.
So I've asked our directors to help join me in a presentation. So with this said,
And Mark,
So-
you have a clicker right in front of your laptop that can press the slide.
perfect, okay. So we have a slide, so I'm going to just share, and we're very proud to say welcome back, CVES. If it's okay, I'll stay here and present, so I can at least be seen as well. So welcome back, CVES, to the 2021 school year. It was a lot of work to get here, but we believe it was worth it to open our doors and have our staff and students show up. So we've been really excited. I'm proud to present and share tonight. Our opening days were September 2nd and 3rd, and our first day with students was today. And we did have students as well today in special education, but we also,
Our first day was yesterday.
our first day was yesterday. And we also had our first day with remote for CV Tech today. And we had special ed students back for a second day. So not all of our students, though, but we'll give you an update of all that as well. But we're so proud to be welcoming back. And just as the board is aware, for the last 5+ months, we have been jumping through many hoops, following evolving guidelines that was changing sometimes daily, sometimes even hourly. We worked very closely with our chief school officers. We worked with our health departments. We worked with our local counties as well, the North Country Path Forward. The Essex and Clinton County Health Departments have been great partners as well. This has been an ongoing process, and the board has been kept informed about all of this. Many updates, as well as ongoing updates from the governor. And you saw lots of slides of the governor's presentation, so that was evolving all along as well. So that just gives you a good snapshot of, that was I believe our closeout when we were closing schools, is that picture right there in terms of what, that was the meeting of our superintendents at that time. As we moved into our opening day and our opening, we want to welcome our new board president, Mr. St. Pierre. Congratulations. Many vice presidents on the board for many years, for 9 years. I think you're getting some good kudos from your partners and online. Also, Mr. St. Pierre, you've been a member of the board, a proud member for 25 years. And you've also been on the Crown Point Board of Education, and been the president for quite a long time. I think
No, somebody
Dr. Davy,
yes.
I don't know if everyone at home is getting some kind of a scratchy maze on top of some of these pictures. Is that something I'm doing wrong, or is that something that can be rectified? We're not seeing the picture. It's a hodgepodge cross kind of graph on mine. Is everybody else at home seeing that?
I think Mr. St. Pierre, Mr. St.
Yeah, I am.
I wonder why. It's almost like it's trying to protect the picture. That's weird, huh?
Yeah.
Does it think it needs a background image or something?
Trying to cover the faces of the photo, like a privacy kind of. That's weird.
Oops, that was gone. Is that your focus?
Is it gone now?
You got it. You got it.
Okay, so it's gone.
Did you have-
Okay, so.
Thank you. At least on this one. Thank you.
Okay, sure. So we want to welcome our new board president, St. Pierre. We all, so Mr. St. Pierre, no, our clicker's not working. So a few technical, there we go. We also have a very special thank you to former board president, Mr. Larry Barkham, who served on, as board president for 23 years. And Mr. Barkham, this is also your final year on the board, totaling 28 years of service. So we're so thankful for your service. So thank you, Mr. Barkham, as it says for your.
30.
If you notice, I didn't have gray hair when I started.
So, and for your decades of leadership and service and to our students. So we thank you. And I know many of the board members that worked with Mr. Barkham for many of those years as well. So thank you. And thank you, Mr. Barkham, for, your leadership and service to our organization.
It's been a valuable experience for me, I'll say that.
Okay. So as we moved into our opening, we just wanted to acknowledge that the last 5 months, a lot of determination, a lot of perseverance. We didn't know what was around the corner at any time. We developed new innovative ways to provide remote learning. Our teachers stepped up, our administrators stepped up in amazing ways. And I want to acknowledge our leaders in this room who stepped up and helped make this possible and set the speed of our evolving and new leadership ways of providing instruction to students. I've wholeheartedly believe that we made years of progress in providing instruction virtually in a very, very short time, many times within a few weeks. Our staff that would have taken much time to evolve into a new learning model did it because they had to. So with that said, the student, it was not only just online learning, but also other ways as well. The student meals, at one point we delivered over 11,000 meals across our BOCES. Truly amazing. And our staff worked together to make that happen. I know, Mr. Bell, you were an active part of that with Mrs. Holbrook, but also a coordinated effort with all of our superintendents. So I really can't say enough about our staff stepping up, our support staff, and also our component districts who similarly did the same thing. So really it was a wonderful example of the North Country coming together, supporting our families and supporting our students. We had all sorts of professional developments, and you see a tremendous shot here with Dr. Stay at our Mineville graduation, which was in person and spread out, but it was done very professionally and it was tremendous. So again, another example with virtual recognition ceremonies, also providing an exceptional, wonderful celebration of our students. And I know Mrs. Friedman and Mr. Slattery, your team and you both did wonderful jobs with your speeches, and it was truly stunning. So we're very pleased, and our staff was able to participate too. So it really was really, it took our breath away to be able to recognize our students in new ways. And so proud. And live streaming of graduations continued as well. So other successes, you see the graduation, 319 high school students in post-secondary. Amazing. We also had, you know, our graduates are continuing to support LPN, CNAs, you name it. We continue to support, bless you, our students and their graduations and support moving on to higher ed and also into support of our economy and the working field. Absolutely tremendous. You also see, you know, shots of meals being delivered. Absolutely amazing and fantastic efforts. With that said, so you know that we then transitioned from our end of the school year and took a short breath, and then we started preparing for reopening our schools. There was an extensive process to pull that together. Mr. Marin, you were an active member of our reopening committee as well. Across the districts, each of your districts also enacted the same process, worked with their stakeholders, worked with parents, worked with, you know, really their school community to now reopen schools after they had been shut down at a moment's notice. So you can see not only our reopening plan, but also the designs. Our health departments were active supporters as well. And more than ever before, we've been calling upon each other to really raise the bar and continue to support our students and our families and our staff. So as we move forward, we were required and we did provide reopening forums. Our forums were held virtually. You know, our membership in person was not as robust as we would have hoped, but one of the features of this approach was that we also recorded our virtual forums. So we then allowed our students and parents to watch these forums afterward. And just look for an example. CV Tech had, the last count that we had were 322 views of our reopening. Special ed, 116, and our general reopening was 51. So you can just see, you know, you're talking, you know, almost 450 plus people watching and participating. So really very proud. And as we move forward, it allowed us to have an opening day. It was one of the most unusual opening days I've ever experienced. Why? Because it was my 36th, but it was virtual. So Mr. St. Pierre, you and I gave actually a virtual speech to a camera.
Yeah.
And you did a great job. And hopefully, you know, I got comments on my tie. I will share with you that. They said they like the tie. But we also highlighted our goals for the year and what have we had accomplished and how we were coming together and how we were now going to call upon everybody to continue to work together to help our students and our staff. And then not only are we going to support each other, but we recognize that it's going to be difficult, but we're going to need to do it together and to move forward together. It's a new normal. So with that said, our theme for our opening and for the year is reimagine, reunite, and renew, which we think is tremendous. I know, Terry, you helped bring those ideas forward to our group and strongly embraced by cabinet and our staff as well, that we understand that we are going to need to reimagine how we look at education. We're going to reunite after being apart, you know, in a closure that we would have never expected. And now we need to renew our commitment and also renew our connection with students and each other to provide high quality education. So you see for reimagine. So one of our highlights of our opening day was our keynote speaker. Molly Kennedy did a phenomenal job. There's a recording, I believe, that we have that we can share. She really was truly amazing and was just the right ticket to really get our staff excited. She talked about, relationships, building those first. And she really emphasized relationships over rigor. Why? Because she said, if you can connect with kids, that's the most important thing right now. So when those kids are at home, they need to know that people care about them and that the staff supports them.
Is her talk still available on site?
Yes, I believe, Terry, that her talk is available, right? That we can share that with the board?
The quality of the video wasn't that great, but we do have, right?
Yeah.
The recording of it. Yeah, so we do have a recording of it, but I would encourage people too. She has a YouTube site and she puts Mondays with Molly. Like she had a lot of resources. I will say there's a couple of not a couple, probably a handful or more of our staff members who follow her like cult. So they watch and I had one of our employees who lost her mom to COVID this spring, said, I need Molly. Like, I just need Molly to get me through my days and to do what I do. And so she does all the Mondays with Molly. And so I just think that it's just a great avenue for people to say it's okay to feel like you do, because she actually has an unbelievable story. We talk about ACEs and kids who had trauma in their life. At 15 years old, she, left and went on her own and ended up in a bad situation. And, really gained strength from her teachers and how important they were of getting her turned around. And then, she talked about those relationships she built, and she'll never forget those. But she persevered beyond all that. She's done Ironman. She's just like against all odds. And so she just tells students, she has a lot with student leaders, you can be dealt a crappy hand when you're a kid, but it's how you respond to that. And that's what she really sends that message home. And she just made a lot of people laugh at themselves, and that's okay, and then just say, and it's okay to be nervous, and it's okay to be anxious, and it's okay, because you got to talk about that stuff. If you don't, you keep it inside, and then you don't get the help you need. So anyway, she did a great job, and I got a lot of positive feedback. I'm sure other people did, so.
Right. Yeah, literally, it was one of the highlights. Not only people were excited about coming back together, but also the message was very unifying as well.
Good.
So with that said, there's a few pictures of our opening day. It really, so if you were to just look at those at a glance, it looks like any other typical opening day, until you look a little more closely. And what do you see? You see masks on everyone. And you see our staff welcoming our students. Bottom right, you see one of our employees taking temperatures. So that was part of our opening as well. In special education, we were taking temperatures of all the students coming in. And in CV Tech, it was periodic. And in many cases, and it's a number of the cases, the students had already had their temperatures taken as they got on their own buses. So you can see the flavor as our students were coming in. You see some of our allied health students coming in their scrubs, or New Vision students. Okay, I want to get those. Yes.
Came dressed and ready.
Yes, okay, they were ready to roll. So we're going to hear a little bit from each of our directors as well. And the second reunite, again, even more. We had our staff, we had our administrators, we had our principals, excited to see our students coming back. And I know that we heard, and Mr. Bell, you used the analogy that every moment of every day that we spent preparing was worth it to see our students show up. And I completely agree with that statement. And I think we all did from cabinet as well, and our staff as well. But you can see, you've got a picture, and you saw that in our transmittal, of what does a new normal welding classroom look like. You can see it's a welding classroom that's socially distanced. You see our special education buses coming in and our special ed welcoming committee. We have our CT director talking with students there as well, Mrs. Friedman. Mr. Bell and students coming in, and Mr. McCartney welcoming students to our satellite campus. So just a little bit of a flavor for our reopening and the welcoming culture of what was welcoming our students back. And in many cases, these students had never been here before. So you have to understand, for them, not only was this a new experience, maybe a little scary, but add to the fact that they were getting off a bus and never had experience coming here before. So that was very exciting. So now we're going to ask each of our directors to share a little bit.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Davey. It's so nice to see those pictures. And, we, as everybody has been, going through every scenario and trying to plan in a very abstract world. And everything had to fall into place for our first day, which was yesterday, and our next first day, which is tomorrow. So we started yesterday with our AA cohort, who are our juniors, or are new to us, CV Tech students. And as Dr. Davey said, students haven't been in school in 5 months, and now they're coming to a brand new school. And perhaps the last time they've even been on our campus was when they were in 10th grade for a visit. So, they're getting off the bus and seeing all these like crazy happy people, that there's actually students at our building. And, taking their temperature and checking their mass and like literally jumping out of our skin with excitement. But they're like, but I don't know where to go. I'm like, okay, we'll take you, let us take you there. So I'm very happy to report, since the last time I had the opportunity to speak with you, that for our cohort A, which are juniors, we had 321 students on our campuses in live instruction between the 3 centers on Tuesday. We expect relatively those same amounts tomorrow for our seniors' first day back, which will be a different experience altogether, because we're going to have to all restrain ourselves from wanting to hug each other, because they haven't seen their teachers and they're familiar faces to us. So I am encouraged by the numbers that I'm seeing. At the same time, I'm saddened because I know that the students who arrived on our campuses had to make some tough choices that affected their social lives back at their home school. However, I think it speaks to the culture of CV Tech and the quality of our programs, that at this point in time, I'm pleased to report that it looks like our enrollment is at least sustained, and not expecting at this point a relatively large decrease that we could have experienced. And I attribute that to the culture and the way in which the CV Tech teachers and educational professionals conduct themselves in the CV Tech division. Kids want to be there. So I'm also pleased to tell you that we have a cohort of 24 LPN students. They are also in the level 3 hybrid model. They do have class 4 days a week. Half of them come on Monday, Tuesday, and then switch to remote Thursday, Friday, and then the other half come live Thursday, Friday. So we are doing that. The welding class that you saw, Mr. Aubin had 34 welding students, cohort A, brand new welding students. So super awesome problem to have. We have too many kids. Oh my God, how many times have you ever heard me say that? What we've done though is that we have realigned and reallocated the expertise of our staff. So in the cohort A, we have one of our special education teachers and another tech teacher on site with Mr. Aubin to help facilitate differentiated centers so that all students can be engaged, but not everybody doing the same thing all at the same time. So we're really excited. We had a great meeting with the entire division today, including the WorkSource staff, to kind of debrief on the soft opening, what went right, what do we need to work on immediately, and what do we have to have some continued dialogue on. So we're receiving great feedback, and we are just thrilled. We are thrilled that we are alive and that we've been given the opportunity to do it, and we understand the gift that we've been given and the responsibility that we have, and we're collectively carrying that together. So that's us for CV Tech.
Okay, great. Any questions for Mrs. Friedman? Okay, next. Sorry, Mr. Slattery for special education.
Thank you, Dr. Davey. Good evening, everyone. So I'm pleased to say that it's been absolutely amazing to welcome our students back to campus for in-person instruction. Yesterday, seeing those smiling faces coming off of our buses really, made it all worthwhile and kind of took everyone back to what school was supposed to be, and what it was before the pandemic struck the North Country. Things are a little different now. We have the temperature screening, everyone's wearing masks, hand sanitizers, and all those practices that are in place. But to be able to do that and have our kids back on campus has been great. Currently, we're using that staggered approach. So at Plattsburgh, we welcome back our students within the autism program first for in-person instruction all week. All of our programming is in-person instruction for 5 days a week after our open. At our Mineville campus, our life skills programming, and those are the students that we're welcoming back first. On Monday of next week, both campuses will have all of our students in person. That staggered approach is really important for our success so that we can get our adults up and running with new routines that's needed, to be able to provide services and instruction for our students with the type of programming that we provide. Now, we're a large, diverse organization. We specialize. That's what CVES does. And that's, really the hallmark of the special ed division. So I wanted to give some shout outs to our teams, if I could right now, Dr. Davey, that really made returning to in-person instruction 5 days a week possible. So first, our school nursing team. This group is spearheading our PPE management, preparing staff for their use and working on the front line, screening students, leading sensitive discussions with families. Our health and safety risk management specialists. Who wants that title during a pandemic? Jeff has been an absolute amazing resource to our organization, to our programming, and he gets you accurate answers very quickly. As a director, as a leader, you may not like the answers, but you know it's the accurate one and the one that you have to go by. So he's been absolutely amazing. Our related service providers, this group is currently navigating the best way to provide in-person services, utilizing PPE, doing it in a small space, and then all the while being able to turn that space around and disinfect it for that next group of students to come in. Our itinerant service providers, so these are the ones that are in our component districts, they're navigating the challenges of working between multiple districts, operating in contrasting, varying, reopening models, while creating schedules to service kids. Very challenging, but they're doing an excellent job with that. We really appreciate their efforts. Our clerical staff, so they're the ones behind the scenes working every day so that reopening can run as smooth as possible. From purchasing to signage to working with component districts, registrations, and interacting with the public, this group has done outstanding work in multiple locations throughout our past, really all summer and leading up to this month, so we can open up. Our O&M staff, this group has been amazing. These guys have moved more furniture in the past 2 weeks than seemed humanly possible, all while waxing floors and ensuring our space is safe and clean for students. Our IT department, now this small group has been incredible. They have rolled out new teacher devices, they've installed new Promethean panels in classrooms, they have supported the technical side of the capital project, and they have done this across multiple campuses and divisions, all competing for their time. Thank you. Our principals and coordinators, this group has been on the front line supporting staff, returning to the workplace while problem solving many things along the way. They have done this with grace and with a smile on their face. We really have a wonderful group of leaders within our division and across our organization that work tirelessly for Team CVES. From Annie to Grace, our newest hire, Nikki, I was debriefing with her today. She was amazed at the number of decisions that come at her so quickly on her first leadership position. They're just doing an awesome job, and that's great to work with. Our teachers, teaching assistants, and one-to-one paraprofessionals. This group has worked extremely hard to prepare their space for students, following our internal procedures and endless guidelines to do it safely. They reach out to families to reestablish those connections, and they're working through the challenges of how to teach remote learners while also teaching the students that are in person in front of them. And finally, the leadership of Dr. Davey and our cabinet here has been outstanding. The support, the quick fixes to problems that are brought to them, all has made this possible for a successful reopening for us. Team CVES is a team, and as a special ed division, we are grateful to everyone for their work and support. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Voting for Matt for president.
Wow.
Yeah, good.
So,
That was awesome.
thank you, Ms.
Yeah.
I want mine to a cookie.
See the chocolate, I need like cookies. I really want cookies.
That's awesome.
I love that chocolate, I'm just thinking of the
So
chocolate.
does anybody have any questions for Mr. Slattery with special education?
Well, sounds like he's got everything under control. Who's next?
Okay, next is Ms. Calabrese
I
Gray.
defer my time to my colleague, Matt Slater. So I just want to say for instructional services, it's a little different in that we don't have students arriving, but I would just say when you talk about reimagine, we've been doing this since March of just saying, our districts need us, they're just going to need us differently. And that's what's happened since the closure. then over the summer, summer we're getting nervous because we're not doing calendars. And I'm like, well, I don't even know where the calendar is. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knows what's happening tomorrow. So, but then we ended up getting floor decals and wall posters and, masks. And it was about social distancing and reminding people. And it was about the videos. And it was about, so I just said, we always have to think about reimagining ourselves as we're a business, and we have to be able to change with the times and what the needs are. And I will say, like Shelley Manchester, she has been working round the clock, night and day, getting all the grants done for the 5 districts that she services. She put in, how many did she say? 27 grants over the summer because the CARES Act came out with that money. She had all the consolidated applications for Title I, Title II. She also did the pre-K programming grants that were due this month. And so she just finished it. You just sent off her last one last Friday. But over, I want to say it's like a $5 million or something like that for the region. So it's just amazing to think of what people do, and they do whatever they got to do to make it happen. And anytime we get a call, it's like somebody just figures out, how are we going to make that work? And we're like, we've never done this before. We've never done this before, and it's like, but it's amazing how people pull together and make it happen, whatever it is, whether it's providing the services to students, providing services to the districts. Like I say, it's different, and we have to think differently. We have to think about, we have these posters, but we know what the parameters are, but it just changes how they're done. Technology just took off because, of course, going remote and with hybrids and all these models, we have gotten so many database requests. We're trying to do, of course, this is the worst time to probably have a new law in place with the whole data privacy, right? So we've got agreements after agreements going to attorneys and just saying, can you turn these around, because our districts really need this certain textbook for their classes that are starting remote. And so it's just been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over a short period of time to make sure our districts get the services that they need, because we know ultimately it's for the kids, and if the kids don't have it, they're going to be at a disadvantage, and we never want that to happen. So I would say that. Also, just to mention, we do have, I believe we have 10 P-Tech students right now who are on, Clinton Community College, and they're off to a good start. I've been meeting with them through WebExes. I got another one-on-one. I've been doing some one-on-one meetings. Got another one coming up next week. But, it's just, most of them are remote, but there is an art class that's on campus. And so some of the students are coming on campus on Mondays and Wednesdays. But it's just so unique, weird, interesting, but we're connected to so many agencies and organizations. And whether it's the health departments or whether it's just, with all the services with special ed and all the businesses with CV Tech. And it's just really a lot of people coming together in times like this. It's just neat to see people coming together and sharing and just figuring it out as we go. And for the superintendents and our little support groups, I call them, whether they're principals or they're coordinators or whatever they are, it's we have a lot of support groups and people just rallying around, bringing all of us together. So, so we do whatever we can to make it happen. And we haven't asked a few things that we said, no, those are illegal. So we can't do those things. But we try to stay within our boundaries and think outside the box at the same time. So, so that's been a little challenging, but we try to make sure we follow we do follow the state guidelines. So that's important.
Both is illegal, not federal crime.
Correct. Yeah. As Molly Kennedy said, just because her student thought she was a felon, that was okay because he connected with her. He just got out of jail. So it's whatever works to connect with kids, it's good. So no, we want to just say that, right. We have parameters we have to work around. There's, the money side of it and the revenue, what we can do with that money. We have to follow those, so we want to make sure, with auditors and everybody, but, we do try to push it a little bit, but at the same time, we understand we have to stay with it. So we'll do that for Eric. Don't get in trouble.
So, any questions?
Yes, Larry.
Mr. Martin?
I got a call today from Bob McDonald. He called, he's the president of the North Country Golf Club of Rouse's Point. He called Michelle, I believe, 2 months ago, roughly.
Yeah, we met in February before.
Yes, I brought him in here in
everything.
February, we met. He called me, I don't know, June, July, early July, and he was looking for a employee. And he called me today to tell me how well he was pleased with who you sent up
Oh,
there.
thank No, I'm so glad. That's
He was a
wonderful.
senior.
Mhm.
He's going on to Albany College or something for culinary arts or something, going that way somewhere.
Culinary Institute down in
Well, I don't know
Yep.
where it is exactly. He indicated Albany way, but he just wanted me to know
No.
how pleased he was, how easily the young guy worked into the job.
Wonderful.
Things that he had never done before, like counting money and ordering supplies. He was just so pleased.
Wonderful.
Maybe call him in another year, I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good that they call us. He worked directly with Sherry Snow and
Yeah,
the chefs,
Yeah.
so.
that's kind of how we get our word out, sometimes, it's those little things.
Is it the soft skills that we teach them that makes this happen pretty much?
I think the fact that it's all integrated, that it's not just the technical side of things. Just look with anything, you can have the book smarts, but if you can't apply them,
If you don't show up.
you can't work with people or,
Yeah.
it's just as important to teach those essential skills to coincide with the technical component. So I like to think we do a pretty good job. So thank you.
I think next year they attempt to expand their food services,
Mhm.
so they may be looking for more than one, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Sure, yeah. And we're just so pleased, I think the board needs to help, Michelle worked well with them, assuming you're.
Both chefs and Sherry, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
All right, and any questions, or we'll move on. Our final update that we have for this part of our presentation is management services.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Davey. So I'm not going to bury the lead, and I'm going to just jump in and say our operations and maintenance team, just what an extraordinary job, and exceeded all expectations over the last 5 months for our organization. They are the one group of employees, other than Dr. Davey, that did not work from home and continue to work on site throughout this pandemic. Back in March, we met with them, said we have plans for them to do work on a daily basis every single day. And it included 2 things, capital project support, and then preparing our buildings for reopening when students arrive. And our primary goal was the wow factor at every one of our campuses. Whenever that day was, we wanted our staff and students to be moved and proud that they're getting off a bus or arriving in a vehicle at our facilities. And I will say I'm extremely proud of this group in making that happen. And that can be a statement that I witnessed with my own eyes, some of the statements made by our kids and parents. And I'm very pleased and proud of our O&M team for making that happen. Early on last year in the fall, winter time, knowing a capital project was coming up, Director of Facilities Brooks, we made a plan to change our waxing strategy. It took too long. We heard complaints from our directors the previous summer and summers before that staff needed their rooms quicker. We knew we had capital projects coming on, so we invested in a new dry mop or a dry wax of our rooms, which sped up the time where we could actually wax a room 3 times in a matter of 1 shift. So that way, instead of having it be multiple days, we're waxing 1 room. And now is 1 shift, 1 room is done. That's not to mention we could do many other ones because it was so much quicker. We made that investment last winter, and all I would say is thank goodness, because it allowed us to make sure all of our rooms were prepared and ready to go for opening day, and there was not 1 room that was not waxed due to time constraints. We took that approach of beautifying our campus alongside the capital project. It included painting, included landscape, new floors in some of our office spaces that was done by our own internal guys, interior painting along with the exterior. We had paving, and then like Director Slattery said, we had so many classroom moves, and a lot of it was due to the capital project, but also in just moving staff and preparing for a pandemic. So a normal summer for O&M is chaotic and really pressed to the end. Throw in a pandemic, throw in 3 capital projects. It was crazy, and kudos to Director Brooks. Now, what I would say, as well is our team, we had a goal of giving them Labor Day weekend off. And I can say that we were able to do that. They worked Friday, which CVES was closed, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, our O&M team took it off because they were done their work by September 4th. So that was a goal of ours because the weekend before, they worked all weekend, and on Monday, we heard from our staff, I've never been this sore in my life. I mean, they were working day in and day out, and even including some overtime over the summer to get it done. So kudos to our team. Also, you know, we shifted very quickly from get school ready to open our doors to, oh yeah, we gotta clean and disinfect throughout all our campuses, and we have all these new requirements. So they flipped the switch right away, and now they become, cleaning is our primary focus now. Every member of our O&M team has a focus on cleaning. If we have time to do improvements and fixes, we're gonna do them, but they're all on the back burner. The other thing I would say with O&M is we appreciate the patience of our team, our leadership team, and helping to assist in this matter, because if you were with us on shortly before the school opened, you think we'd never be opening. But there was a final push that got done, and it was beautiful. So who's that team? I'll try to quick it up because I know I'm going on. Cafeteria, collaboration. Between the two divisions, their directors, we went remote learning, feeding all kids remotely. We collaborated with our divisional teams as well as every one of our component districts to ensure that our kids were fed remotely. That happened all fall. It happened during the summer as well. So we're very proud of that happening. And we switched to, oh, by the way, CV Tech's going to be full day. You got to feed CV Tech students. So we're shifting from remote, which we had never done before, to now we got to feed CV Tech students, which if you recall, or well, I guess putting numbers together, it's really 3 times the population of special ed. So we went from what we had times that by 3, and now that's what we got to feed during a pandemic and in the middle of some capital construction. So collaboration it has been key there. Kudos to Julie Holbrook and our team. Our directors have been awesome with working with this. Our staff have been fantastic in helping support that. The other thing I would say is we're okay to start feeding wise, but we're going to get better every day. And that's our goal. Improve every single day. Today was day 2. We were better than yesterday. Tomorrow we're going to be better than we were today. And that's our goal in our cafeteria operation. It's a big lift. There's a lot of distance between them. We're going to improve every day. Our actual management services staff, we completed a successful audit last week. It went smoothly. We expect to have a report at the October board meeting. But our summer in any business office in the school district, as well as the BOCES, we closed our $150 million of budgets, closed out. We reopened $150 million of budgets in our offices through the summer, and it was all a smooth transition. So very positive, and I appreciate the work of our team. And I always got to give kudos to our treasurer, Christine Myers, for that. Dr. Davis said my analogy, and that was the end of my speech. So I'm going to say that for 5+ months, we had a goal of reopening our building. We didn't know when it would be. But from March 16th forward, our administrative team said, we want to welcome kids back to our facilities. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week. We want to welcome them back. That tended to lead out to July when we got a statement that we have to have reopening plans. Guidance that was hundreds of pages long. And we worked our butts off to make that a reality. We had a target date of September 8th in our mind. So our team worked tirelessly on this, and it was a goal of ours. And I will say, we wanted in-person learning, and we got it. We did it, and I am so proud of our team and our staff for what they did, because our staff stepped up to the plate, our administrators stepped up to the plate, and our team really led this to that opening day. And there was a lot of tears from students, there was tears from staff, and it was a very proud moment for me, and I'm very thankful to be part of this organization.
That's great.
Yeah.
Dr. Davey, on behalf of the board, could you have someone put together a thank you letter to all these folks that did this all summer, that we appreciate what they've done and how it's turned out?
Absolutely.
I think they'd appreciate a little bit of a thank you that way.
Absolutely.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
Thank you.
And any questions for Mr. Bell? I'm going to add one further acknowledgement, and is not expecting it, and it doesn't have a slide, but I want to just take a moment and thank Mr. St. Pierre and our technology team, who not only stepped forward in the spring and helped us provide remote instruction in unique ways and help really fill a void that needed to be done, and did it tirelessly and without complaining, but now worked all summer diligently, ordered computers, Wi-Fi devices, not only that, and then work side by side with our construction team as well. And that's Mr. St. Pierre and our technology team. And so if, I just want to really offer a special acknowledgement there as well, because for each of our divisions, our technology team provided the backbone for the instruction to occur and to occur remotely. And so, for example, today, CV Tech's instruction was remote. So today we flipped the switch. Mrs. Friedman, the CV Tech students were all remote. And so our technology team again stepped up and worked through a bunch of hiccups. Mr. St. Pierre, you said you got about 250 emails yesterday and about 200 today. So you're handling it? We're going down. And the other piece is, we did joke, Mr. St. Pierre, when I called you and asked you, you said, there were all sorts of problems where we went to one room to hook up a computer. It was there yesterday and today it was gone. So why? Because somebody saw either a contractor or someone saw a computer available and they needed one. So it got moved to another room. So they ended up trying to figure all that out. So I just have to really acknowledge our technology team and Mr. St. Pierre for his leadership. He's the coordinator who's been really, stepping up and provided a backbone of great instructional knowledge to be able to support our technology resources of how it works and what needs to be done, and also providing the leadership and support with our component districts. So I just want to take a moment and thank Mr. St. Pierre on behalf of the entire organization as well. So thank you to you and your team.
Thank you.
Okay, so.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
And round of applause for IT.
So anything you would like to add, Mr. St. Pierre?
No, I think we got pretty much everything ironed out the last couple of days, so I don't say easy sailing from here, but I think we got.
You'll be
kicked off
glad to
stuff.
have Matt Halkovich on the
Oh my
team on
God.
September 20th. Like
Feel free to
say that.
email him daily, just to.
Check on it.
Just to check out. Everybody send a thank you email.
And on behalf of our board, one of your most challenging assignments was helping get our board to work through a WebEx model. So I thank you for your support for our board as well and helping us have virtual meetings while we were closed and now do really a hybrid model. So thank you. So Mr. St. Pierre, with your permission, we'll transition a little bit. Why? Because our next part of the presentation is actually a capital project update. It is part of this PowerPoint presentation as well. So we're going to just do a quick transition to kind of blend and then close out both items together. So if you could just bear with us for a little bit. So we do have, for our renew, we do have our capital project update. And all summer long, you've been seeing capital project updates come in weekly. You know that the progress that has been occurring has been amazing. You know it has not been problem-free. You know that we've been tackling new hurdles that came up as any capital project that occurs. We know that there are sometimes unexpected items that happen. There's good things, and there's things that you say, oh no, I can't believe that happened. And this is a really nice snapshot of what is normally our satellite campus, but it also all summer long has looked like a construction zone. And you've seen some pictures and you've seen a variety of our campus shots all summer long about what the different progress that was happening. And you saw some before and after projects. And if you notice, for example, the CV Tech pictures that you saw, on the 4th of September, there was construction materials everywhere. Or on I think it was the 2nd of September, 1st of September, and by the 4th of September, it looked like a lobby that was ready to open school. So there was, again, as Mr. Bell suggested, we flipped the switch, and I think that was amazing. And you saw pictures of hallways that look like any typical reopening hallway. And if you had seen in many cases some of those hallways a week or two before, there was literally no way you would have thought we could have ever opened school. So it's just a testament to our O&M team, our contractors, and everyone working together to pull together to be able to help open school. And our administrative team helped step up and lead that charge, as well as our support staff, who really helped chip in and work as well. And many of our staff worked during the weekends to come in and get their classrooms ready to open school. So, Mr. Bell, I'm going to ask you to just help a little bit here. We'll move forward with a picture. So we've got some of our main campus improvements. You've seen multiple pictures of our new entry road. And if you've had a chance to drive in or you haven't, I would encourage you to, because it's a great new asset for us. And Mr. Bell, I'm just going to ask you to make a couple to share some of the things for our capital.
Yeah, we're
project.
going to cover some highlights that we were able to complete over the 5 months of construction. But, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that it takes a village. Any time you do a capital project, it really does take support and buy-in from your organization, and a long process, led by Dr. David and this board, of starting with a facilities advisory committee to get to construction, helped to develop a lot of buy-in really on an organization. Our staff and our team saw the problems we had in our building. They knew we needed fixes, and especially in the long term, we'd be in real deep trouble. So our staff really bought into our capital project, and the support for it has been strong. So there's been a lot of flexibility, there's been a lot of patience, and there's been a lot of collaboration amongst our team to make this happen. So really, none of this could have happened without that. Schoolhouse construction, as a construction management team, has been on point and doing a strong job for us, working collaboratively with Director Brooks, Dr. Davey, myself, as well as our administrative team. They've actually been in direct contact with our team, and it's been going very well. So at our main campus, this is where a majority of our work happened. We took, during the pandemic, we put a directive on the contractors to say, this is your primary focus. We're going to continue construction through the pandemic. Let's get this work done, because we don't have students in the building. And that was our big push. And our big number one there, roof replacement. That had to get done. We had so many leaks throughout our campus. It was long overdue to replace that roof. And as of the opening of school, our roof replacement, as far as the actual roof itself, was complete. There's still some finish work to be done on the special ed slope roof, which will be done during second shift, but that roof replacement was complete. The other priority item was our classrooms. So our classroom spaces, we were removing walls, we were grouping the HVAC in those spaces. That was the other primary focus. The classroom spaces that were overhauled, whether it was into speech suites or a larger classroom, that was completed, prior to school starting, and done so those spaces could be occupied. Our next priority was our secure entry vestibules at the main campus, CV Tech, as well as special education. If you were in the CV Tech office a couple of weeks ago, you would say there would be no CV Tech office come September 4th. And by September 4th, there was a hole in the wall, there was a waiting room, there was flooring being put down, and the office was actually able to open up for the opening of school on September 8th. Not fully completed, as some lead items are out there, but that entry vestibule is there and in existence, and that office actually being used. When a point in time, we thought it would not be until the end of September. Special education office, again, both these offices, we were trying to get them in as early as possible. We had some delays in our special education office. However, that last week of August, they were able to move into their new space. That entry vestibule was able to be open for the start of school. There's still ongoing punch list items going on in that space, but it was able to be completed. And last item I just want to bring up is the bathrooms. We've heard in some local districts that they've had an issue with their bathrooms. Bathrooms are one thing. If they're not done, you can't open school. You have a required minimum number of outlets that you need in your school building. That was a very big push for us from March forward, was to get the bathrooms done. Those are something that we couldn't have shut down, and in particular, our largest overhaul was the CV Tech bathrooms that really needed the most. But it also, that is the primary hub for bathrooms. The rest are just one-off singles throughout our main building, which would not be enough for 300 plus students walking into those doors on September 8th. Right down to the wire, we were waiting on the sink that came in, and our bathrooms were done, complete, looking great. The only thing that wasn't done was the lights. They threw some temporary lights in for us. Everything's working fine, and we were able to open our doors.
They work great.
That's them. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.
Satellite campus improvements, the primary focus here for us, site work, because that impacts bus traffic from September 8th. And then our north building main office space and classroom space in the north building. So as part of this project, we're moving the principal's office from the south building. We're moving some classroom space from the south building, and we're putting into the north building. So that was our primary focus there, as well as a secure entry vestibule for the north building that didn't exist before. So we were able to move in, again, the last week of August, really the first week of September, move Principal McCartney and team into their spaces. and have the new classroom spaces in the North Hangar done, so they could actually occupy that with students and use that space. So again, another thing that came down to the wire, but we're able to do it. The site work, the importance of that is we're putting in a new bus loop for the North Hangar drop-off. We don't have our new driveways done yet, but the actual traffic where the buses would have to come and drop kids off was completed and done and striped prior to September 8th. That way we've got bus traffic flowing in there without interfering with construction. Now what's remaining is those 2 new driveways, which won't impact bus traffic, and then the expansion of the parking lot, which will not impact bus traffic. And that was our primary focus on those items. The other items, addition of the Annex foundation complete, working on our south building, we came into some structural issues, put a delay on that work. However, we're continuing to make progress on the exterior portion of the building. As you can see in the picture, that is the new stairs that will be going into the 2nd floor. So a lot of work going on there. Purchase of land is on that slide as well. We did purchase 20 additional acres from the county to our northwest. And then a small sliver of the Han property is on your agenda tonight for approval. And we're hoping to close on that in the next couple of days for the final purchases as part of this capital project for land.
Okay.
Next is our Mineville campus. We took the approach at the Mineville campus to, in the second summer, address our windows, exterior doors, and vestibule in that area, so we could house, our general contractors, the same contractors for both. So our general contractors could focus in Plattsburgh on the work that needed to be done at the main campus. Summer 2, 2021, they're going to put their focus on the Mineville campus. However, we did want to approach some of this work and give Mineville something for the opening of school. So we put a focus on the site work there. So there's paving done as well as the playground was put in. So you can see a picture there of what the playground looks like. That was finished up. Actually, the first week of September, it was just finishing up as staff was returning to school. So very happy to have that there for students. It's a very big improvement for them, and our students will be able to take advantage of it.
Looks like fun. Oh, we'll play.
So I would say that our next updates really as we go forward, follow our progress. We're going to shift to twice a month for now. We're going to cut it back from weekly, move to twice a month. Our contractors are moving to second shift at the main campus. So really our focus of work that's being done is HVAC, electrical work, and so that VX cable the board approved previously. Our roofing contractor finishing up the trim work, that'll all be done second shift. At the satellite campus, we actually do have day shift still ongoing. We have our subcontractor actively working on day shift and our general contractor working on day shift as well in our hangar space and on the addition. So we have a mix. So we actually have now, we switched it from contractors during the day to contractors from 7 a.m. until 10 at night.
Okay, and I just want to also acknowledge the regular updates that were done in partnership with Schoolhouse and our communications team, Mr. Bell, and you helped lead that with Kayla Inman and Schoolhouse Construction. They've been very thorough and very detailed, but also regular progress updates. I think they've been helpful. They've also been shared with our superintendents and our component boards to share that they're getting a good value for their investment. So with that said, the final piece I just say, and this is just a final closeout to be able to say, thank you to everyone who's been involved in helping us not only reopen, but open. Our typical, it's just an opening normally, and we're so pleased to have brought our students back, to have our staff back on campus, and to have the in-person instruction occurring. We are hopeful and optimistic that we can work together and keep this process moving forward. Doesn't mean we won't have hiccups or that we're going to have to address issues that come up. We're prepared to do that, but we also want to work together to provide the safest environment for everyone and to maintain that important safety as well as our true culture of providing tremendous programs and services to our students. So thank you for everyone and to our board for supporting it and our staff for making it, and our staff and administrators for making our in-person instruction and learning possible.
Eric?
Yes.
Schoolhouse is providing extra people for monitoring both shifts.
At this time, not extra people. Right now, we have 1.5 personnel allotted to us. So we have we have 2 people 3 days a week. Is really what we end up having. So we'll have 3 days are on standard shift, and 2 days if there is an afternoon shift, which most of our contractors are on 410, so it ends up being 1 day. We end up paying overtime for the schoolhouse to monitor that whole time. We have an overtime allowance built into our contract, totaling $40,000, that would be allotted to.
You have somebody monitoring those guys.
Yes, and we do, I will tell you that we do, and we're trying to limit the overtime, and we're successfully able to do it pretty much 1 day a week. And we have to pay overtime, sometimes if it extends into a weekend. We do pay overtime to have them here on Saturdays and Sundays, because we do not want contractors working without them.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Okay.
There. We all done?
Yes, thank you, President St. Pierre.
Good. All right, so now we need to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Motion by?
Here.
Second. Second by Richard. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Right.
Agenda financial, A to F. Motion by Richard. Lisa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. St. Pierre, just a reminder that you, just for acknowledgement to allow our folks to vote.
Yes,
Yep. Thank you.
forgetting about that aspect. All right. So number 9, old business is none this month apparently. Consent agenda personnel. That's,
Motion.
We want to make it move prior to voting.
the one in Madison, sorry, have been moved
Yes.
in consideration at this point. Okay.
And she is, Mr. President St. Pierre, she is someone who is just unable to start at this
Yeah.
time. It is expected that she will be joining us shortly, but at this point, she's been unable to start work yet. But we do expect her on the board agenda to come join us at that point.
Okay. So we have a first and a second.
I did not hear that.
Second.
Bruce, second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, everybody is on board. Okay, next. 11, Board of Educational Services, revised policies, waiving first reading and adopting, voter 26. Motion. Richard, second. Lisa, all those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. D, the 2019-20 CS approved cross-contract budget increases. Motion by Richard, second.
Yeah.
Lisa, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried.
Then we have the section C, some added resolve for Plymouth County, Nassau County Health Department sharing information. We also have the board approved request attendance conference workshop for Linda, Mrs. Bonnie Horn.
So need a motion for 11C,
Motion is amended.
second by
Second.
Lisa, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Then 11D, the motion?
Yeah.
Motion. Lisa, second by Richard, all those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Please.
And moving on to 12A.
New business. We do have an added new business closure.
Yep.
Approvals and resignations.
Need a motion?
Here.
Lisa, second.
Second.
Second by Lori, all those in favor?
And provisional civil service appointment.
Courtney Mitchell. Motion for the, motion Richard, second. Lisa, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Okay, Mr. St. Pierre, if I could just pause for 1 minute and say, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Mitchell as our new benefits director for our CEWW Health Insurance Consortium and Workers' Compensation Consortium. We're thrilled that she'll be joining us. We know that that's a significant responsibility. We look forward to working with her, with our board of directors, as well as with a member of our CVES staff to serve in a critical role and provide good leadership with us. She is someone who's from the North Country, a graduate of Plattsburgh. So we're pleased to welcome a North Country resident back who's been very successful elsewhere in the country and out west, and she's happy to return home. So we look forward to having her join us. She's excited to come back home and have this new responsibility and opportunity. So we look forward to having her join our team.
Great. Next.
The next one is temporary appointment for Amy Burdo.
Motion. Lisa Richards. Lisa, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Okay, could I add, Mr. Chair, could I add one more comment? I just want to take an opportunity and congratulate Ms. Berto for a position. She's been an important and valuable member of our One WorkSource leadership team and instructional staff. You know that we recently had a retirement. And Mrs. Friedman, I know you've worked with her for many years. If I could just ask you to just congratulate Ms. Berto. Anything you'd like to add?
Absolutely. Amy Berto is wholeheartedly invested in the adult literacy programming through One WorkSource. She's been with us for 20 years. And in her interview, she just, you could feel the energy through the computer about how invested she is in making sure that these programs continue to thrive and grow. So I am just thrilled for us that she's been allowed this opportunity to continue to pave the way for those One WorkSource programs. I'm thrilled for her because this is more than just a job. This is part of who she is and what she does. And I couldn't be happier to text her right now and tell her that I'll approve her appointment. So.
Good deal. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the last one, the new business, is the sale of our aviation equipment to Hudson Valley Community College.
Motion by Richard, second. Lori, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right, now we're moving on to the strategic plan update. Dr. Davey, you are.
Okay, just a couple quick updates. You know that we've worked closely with Sean Brady. He will be joining us again, except doing some virtual support of our team. Mr. St. Pierre, I think you're adjusting. Okay. So Mr. Brady will be joining us. We'll be doing something called the straw man approach to provide some consulting support along the way. We will be having a DPT meeting, but it'll be virtual. He will be doing some preparation work. He will also be working with each of our divisional directors on some preparation work ahead of time. Instead of doing a full day presentation, it'll be a half day involvement and work. So we're looking forward to him joining us again and helping continue to move forward on our goals and updating the goals. There's several priority areas that we're going to be focusing on. One is a continuation of our work that's been happening. Our equity, inclusion, and acceptance goal as well is going to be infused in our work this year. And we also are looking at making some continual improvements in communication efforts. Over the years, you remember when, I know Mrs. Saunders, we updated the website. Believe it or not, it's been 7 years. And so I think we're at a point where we're ready to update to have a version 2.0. So there's some more improvements that we want to continue to make to integrate social media at a higher level and really help with our own rebranding. So we're excited about that opportunity as well to make our time productive and also to move forward with our strategic plan participation that we've had at a high level. So I thank the board for your support too and welcome the opportunity for us to work with Mr. Brady as well later this fall.
What's the subject matter that the board will be dealing with when we meet with him?
So we've talked, and I know Mrs. Rattle, you and I had a good conversation with Mr. Brady as well. One of them would be looking at a way that the board can support our acceptance, inclusion, and equity goal. And another is how we can even work together to be more effective at implementing our own technology resources to be much more, integrated and seamless in our work together with our laptops and the board's efforts. So really how to be a more effective board member and more participatory as we can move forward and try to strengthen your participation in roles as well in helping provide the leadership as we go forward.
I'm kind of interested in how, or making a note of how much we've learned doing this. Come wintertime, when we know there's a storm, I feel better about how we can stay home and do a meeting and not risk our lives going up the Northway or down the Northway.
Sure.
So I'm much more comfortable with it now than I used to be when we first started doing this. Bruce, what do you think?
What fun are you, Mitch?
Huh?
I said, what fun are you?
You want to come sliding down the hill?
Hey, I just drive faster.
That's it. Get there sooner. All right. Are you still have,
Yeah.
are you still doing your?
Yeah, so that's all in terms of the strategic plan.
Oh,
Then I
okay,
just have
okay.
the district superintendent's update, so I'll transition with your permission. Just a couple of quick pointers. Just as we are wrapping up, we've already given an acknowledgement and an opening thank you. And a thank you to our cabinet members as well, who provided a tremendous update in their leadership. They've been on the ball and really putting in extra effort. You hear the old adage that those people who are second milers, they go the extra mile to make sure that things are done right and done well. And that's our cabinet team. So our administrative team and leadership team are truly second milers who will go above and beyond without being asked. So I want to thank each of them for their leadership and their work. And thank you for helping make this an important new year and a new normal, but we did it together and we'll keep moving forward that way. So I'm very appreciative of that. With that, moving forward into the next item, we just have 2020 CVES and component districts. You know that some of our districts currently are in a remote model. We have 3 of our districts currently providing remote instruction. Many of our districts, including ourselves, are providing a remote option. But we do have several of our districts due to concerns and proactive, out of an abundance of caution approach to try to provide, remote instruction to start the year, and one due to construction efforts that were, being finalized now. So that's continuing. There's also the technology updates, and Mr. St. Pierre, we talked about that we're, moving into expanded wireless. There's also, the remote access is continuing to expand. We want to thank the United Way, who not only recently gave us $10,000, but earlier in the summer gave us $10,000. So that's a $20,000 grant, who they've contributed on behalf of our students to help improve remote access and devices. So we're very thankful of that and the partnership that our local foundations have been providing. There's just also a note here too. One of the hot buttons that's now becoming more of a concern across the region and state is, as students are coming back to school and some schools are not having full in-person, athletics has also become an issue. Why? Because there are concerns about contact sports. There are concerns about whether or not students can participate safely. CVES does not have a sports team, but we do have an executive coordinator for the section who helps work with all of the school districts and provide support at a high level. And that was something that our districts were supportive of. And it's really facilitated a lot of conversation. It's raised our own game in terms of how we work together to provide better coordination and service to our component districts. That still is becoming an issue. Several of the sections across the state have now canceled sports for the fall. Section 8 and Section 10 on Long Island. 11.
And,
10, oh, so you're right, correct. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So it was
11.
11. So it's 11 and 8. It's Nassau and Suffolk County have postponed sports until January. Our districts, and there was just something that came out today that said that football and volleyball were postponed until the spring. So this is an evolving topic, and our districts are working together to advocate, but also to understand that these dynamics are changing and may change, very likely going to be changing on an evolving basis. But I wanted to at least acknowledge it. Why? Because your districts all have sports teams, and it's a high level of activity. It's a high level of support, and it's also something that students love to participate in. Many of us were athletes years ago, and that was one of the reasons why we really love school. So we know how important it is to students, but we also know that's the safety and the learning is the first reason why we're in school, and then athletics are secondary. So with that said, just an acknowledgement for moving to number 3 is our board planning. We are planning on having the next meeting is in October for 2020 here, held again here at ISC. We thank our board members from the southern region for making this transition, as well as for our virtual attendees. And just an acknowledgement, the NISBA fall meeting is going to be virtual as well. So thank you to those members who have expressed interest in participating in that. It's a little bit less expensive this year. Wasn't any travel, but it will be electronic and participation that way. The fourth item is just an acknowledgement about our planning updates. We've already talked about that in terms of our strategic planning input. You know, the items of the areas that we'll be focusing on, we've already mentioned those. So without getting further into that conversation, we just want to acknowledge that it was our equity, inclusion, and acceptance, our communication improvements, and our programmatic efforts to be more effective at what we do and how we do it. And lastly, I'd like to just acknowledge 2 other points. Our Rural Schools Association, I know Ms. Gagne-Horn, you're our Rural Schools Board Member Representative. I know Rural Schools has been advocating tirelessly to try to advocate on behalf of our rural schools to support the efforts of advocacy for funding. David Little has been consistent about sending out strong messages. He's been a strong advocate about helping our regions and the state, as well as with our federal efforts as well. So with that being said, they've even just recently sent something out that we'll be talking about tomorrow with our superintendents, just an acknowledgement that there's some extra services and Wi-Fi and other technology resources that could be available. So we're continuing to promote those types of services. And lastly, just an acknowledgement too, you had an electronic version of the Minor Institute report. I know Mr. Barkham, you know, the Minor Institute has been a key role in the North Country and from Shazy for William Minor and the Agricultural Resource Institute. They do a great job. They're strong supporters of the Shazy School, but there have also been a national and worldwide leader in agricultural research and support. So I just wanted to acknowledge that we're very fortunate to have this diamond in the North Country who's able to support our region and agriculture and rural, you know, the rural issues and agriculture. So we're so happy to have that information. And also I wanted to share it with the entire board. Mr. Barkham, anything you'd want to just share as a longtime Shazy board member?
Been a great experience. The Minor Institute is a wonderful, they do have some connection with Plaster State. Some courses are taught up there, I believe. It was a 15,000 acre farm at one time. It's not that big anymore, but Minor Foundation out of Chicago still supports the local school very heavily. Okay. When I was in school there many years ago, the foundation funded 90% probably of the whole school.
Wow.
The school buses were all housed at the Minor farm itself, a couple miles away from the school. Furnished all the bus drivers, janitors. They always said it was the next thing to a private school. They put in millions of dollars over the years. You know, and you were there, I believe,
yes.
Minor Day 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was.
Yes.
Yeah. If those that don't know much about it, just look up William H. Minor. You'll learn a lot.
Yep. Yes, and it's a great acknowledgement in terms of their annual report.
He had got the book on the patents that he had in 30, 40, 50 patents done, mostly railroad cars, and couplings and
right.
brakes, gears and stuff.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Barkham. So that's the end of my superintendent's update. Thank you for the board for allowing me that opportunity.
So any questions, or if not, we'll need a motion.
I know there's been a lot of positive feedback tonight, but I think I personally would like to say thank you to all administration that's here tonight, all to the tech department with Alex. and everyone else who had helped with the reopening forums. There was a lot of information shared, but it was very professionally done. You guys did a great job at that, because I didn't have the opportunity to watch them all. I think we also have to say thank you to Mr. Bell and Mr. Brooks for their continued hands-on focus with the capital project. That is huge, and we truly appreciate all your hard work you're doing there, because I know that's not easy.
Oh, yeah.
And for everyone else, a thank you goes out to the entire staff. Their exceptional drive, determination, and hard work really is what brought the BOCES to be able to welcome all of the students back. And I don't think there's enough thank yous that can be shared with everyone. But we really appreciate all the hard work that has been put forth by everyone. It really makes a difference for the students. And I'm sure, as you've spoken tonight about the faces that you were able to see, and I'm sure the smiles that were able to come back, I'm very excited to be here. And I think a special thank you needs to go out to Megan. You're always so quiet in the corner, but I think you do a lot of work behind the scenes, and you do a lot of work everywhere. So we really appreciate all your hard work. So thank you to everyone. Who are the corners of the building is going to be?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We can work with Mr. Bell and our team to arrange those. Ask anybody online and see if anybody.
Anybody online have any questions or comments?
This is Linda. Just want to remind everybody about the census, because that's another big push with rural schools. Unfortunately, it looks like the numbers aren't good as far as people responding, and we really, really, really need people to fill out those forms and get them back, because everything we make, everything we do has any funding attached to it depends on having an accurate count. Of course, I want to echo everything that Lisa said. Everybody's done such a wonderful job. One quick question, if you don't mind, because not in Essex County, but hearing all the horrible things happening as the COVID and the nursing home, just asking that everybody is safe from that area. And if you could provide an internal update as far as, anything we should know, or are a lot of the locals must be terrified and having anything you want to say, Mitch, or?
No, I agree with you. It's a concern, especially that town was kind of like the center of everything, and they're working through it. I'm just hoping that it doesn't affect all our districts in the long run. I hope they're able to keep it down to a dull. That's all we can hope for. We'll see how it works out.
Just wishing all of you good luck and good health and safety.
Thank you. Anybody else? How's that?
Motion to adjourn.
I was waiting for that, Bruce. I knew you could handle it.
Second. This is Linda.
All those in favor?
Okay, thank you,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Relatively early.